Breaking news. Ozzy Osbourne is gone at 76, and Hollywood's foundations are shaking. Within minutes, Metallica mourned their North Star. Elton John dubbed him a legend, and Lady Gaga halted her set to erupt into Crazy Train. But tucked inside the family's statement is a single line calling his passing unexpected, igniting theories that the Prince of Darkness didn't simply lose a long fight with Parkinson's, but was blindsided by a sudden, unnamed complication. Today, we will go over all the new details and analyze the facts to see how this rock icon passed so suddenly. It started with TMZ's red banner alert at 11:14 a.m. Pacific. Ozzy Osbourne dead at 76. Within minutes, push notifications from People, The Guardian, and the BBC flooded phones worldwide, each quoting Sharon Osbourne's stark line: her husband died surrounded by love. That carefully worded family statement offered no medical details, so anchors filled the vacuum with neurologists and rock historians while social media tried to outguess them. Skepticism spiked. Only 9 days earlier, a viral AI deepfake had claimed Ozzy was already on his deathbed, and Kelly Osbourne had blasted the clip as garbage. Fact-check site Snopes, which had flagged those earlier rumors as false, flipped its verdict to true once Sharon's statement hit the wires, capturing the morning's whiplash in a single toggle. By the time CNN cut to commercial, #RipOzzy, #Prince of Darkness, and, tellingly, #fake news were trending together. Proof that in an era of deep fakes and instant alerts, even the death of a legend can feel like one more rumor until the family speaks. Ozzy first revealed his Parkinson's struggle to the public in 2020. But by late 2023, he admitted the disease, and a carousel of other ailments, had been 5 years of absolute hell for him and his family. The downhill slide began with a brutal fall in 2019 that shattered vertebrae and forced multiple spine surgeries. Recovery was so slow he joked it felt like learning to walk twice. Add that to the infamous 2003 ATV crash that broke his collarbone, 6 ribs, and nearly his neck, and his body was already a patchwork of titanium and willpower. Yet the man refused the exit ramp. Weeks before his death, he told reporters he was nearly dead, but I can't complain, and still planned to keep making music, hinting at one more studio project even if touring was done. Doctors remind us Parkinson's itself rarely kills. It's the ambush of complications, aspiration pneumonia, blood clots, sudden cardiac trouble, that turns the battle fatal in late stages. That medical gray area is exactly where speculation over Ozzy's true cause of death now thrives, and where our story heads next. The shock barely hit Twitter before arenas turned into impromptu shrines. In San Francisco, Lady Gaga stormed the runway in a black Ozzy tee as Crazy Train blasted through the Chase Center, her gothic stage rig suddenly feeling like it was built for the Prince of Darkness all along. 1,000 miles east, Pantera dimmed the Riverbend lights and slipped into their cover of Planet Caravan. Screens filled with slow-motion images of Ozzy, and the crowd roared every word like a candlelit pledge. Genre lines kept dissolving. Coldplay's Chris Martin hushed a sold-out Nashville stadium for a fragile piano-led take on Changes, dedicating the entire show to Ozzy's genius, talent, and characterful gift to the world. Hours later, Def Leppard opened their Saratoga Springs encore with the same Sabbath ballad, Joe Elliott reminding fans, "Tonight we're celebrating Ozzy." Pop, metal, alt-rock, every stage spoke the same language, grief hammered into riffs. And while guitars carried the sorrow in public, the most personal tributes were still loading, ready to crash timelines in the next breath. Up next, a rapid-fire roll call of Hollywood voices, from Metallica to Drake, echoing through every corner of the internet. Black Sabbath sealed the circle with a stark post, "Ozzy Forever." Metallica followed, calling him hero, icon, mentor, and ticking off every way he'd altered their DNA. Elton John mourned a true legend, while Questlove saluted the blueprint of heavy every drummer studies. Jason Momoa's tear-streaked IG video thanked Ozzy for teaching him fearlessness, and Youngblood vowed that every note he ever belts will carry the Prince of Darkness's name. The wave kept cresting. Flavor Flav posted a selfie and a simple "much love, rest easy." Def Leppard opened their Saratoga encore with Changes, letting the crowd roar the chorus. Pearl Jam's Mike McCready said goodbye to the legendary Ozzy like he was losing a North Star, while Ronnie Wood of the Rolling Stones called the Birmingham farewell one hell of a goodbye. Billy Corgan confessed Ozzy shaped everything he ever played. Ice-T fired off a blunt R.I.P. Ozzy, and Drake slipped to the Black Sabbath bridge at midnight, poured a silent shot, and left without a word. On a cloudless Birmingham night, 45,000 fans crammed into Villa Park for Back to the Beginning, a one-off benefit that ultimately raised a staggering £140 million for Parkinson's, cancer research, and local youth music programs. Ozzy emerged on a black bat-winged throne, more gothic altar than wheelchair, grinning like he just pickpocketed the Reaper. The roar of Ozzy, Ozzy rolled over the stadium before he'd sung a note, and for 30 electric minutes the Prince of Darkness sounded raw but resolute. Tom Morello's revolving stage master plan kept cameos firing. Guns N' Roses blitzed Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, Pantera turned Planet Caravan into a slow-burn prayer, and Metallica detonated Master of Puppets before saluting the man who taught us fearlessness. Every band waived its fee, every riff felt like a signed thank you letter. Then came Ozzy's own 5-song sprint, capped by an elongated Crazy Train. He lingered on the line, "I'm going off the rails," and let the crowd finish it. Impressionistic proof, some argue, that he was autographing his exit in real time. Placing "Mama, I'm Coming Home" right before it only deepened the wink. Curtain down, lights up, but the resonance didn't fade. Villa Park felt less like a venue than a launch pad for collective mourning. And when dawn broke, it was the fans, not the A-listers, who would stamp Ozzy's legacy into something bulletproof. Birmingham lit up first. By sundown, the railings of Black Sabbath Bridge disappeared under candles, battered vinyl sleeves, and Sharpie-scrawled farewells. "See you on the other side," glowing in waxy orange rose. Local streams caught the pilgrimage live, showing fans queuing to add guitar picks, half-drained stout bottles, even a rubber bat. Because how else do you thank the Prince of Darkness? The flood spread online. Loudwire's photo roll captured crowds packing Birmingham's side streets, chanting Ozzy between sobs and selfies, while Reddit threads pinned maps so travelers could find the bridge, turning a weekday night into an accidental festival of grief. Then the data hit. Spotify reported Ozzy's monthly listeners vaulting from 12.4 million to more than 14 million in a single day, a 377% spike for Crazy Train alone. Black Sabbath streams jumped by a cool million. TikTok stitched those numbers into real time, teens discovering War Pigs for the first time, wide-eyed reaction videos tagged #Prince of Darkness, pulling 500,000 views overnight. Comment sections morphed into confession booths. People thanked Ozzy for getting them through divorces, deployments, addiction. Others remembered the reality TV dad who made heavy metal feel hilariously human. Proof that the man who branded himself Darkness ultimately left a bonfire of light. That paradox, chaos turned community, is why the final word on Ozzy's story doesn't belong to Metallica or Elton John. It belongs to every kid ripping their first riff today because they saw a shaky TikTok clip of Crazy Train and thought, "I can be that loud too." Days pass, headlines cool, but the biggest question still hangs in the air. What exactly took Ozzy down? The coroner's report remains under seal, and insiders hint the family may wait weeks before releasing anything concrete, fueling every Reddit diagram that links his sudden respiratory crash to a lurking cardiac defect or a Parkinson's-triggered clot. Meanwhile, whispers of a public memorial swirl around Birmingham Cathedral, with Sharon said to be weighing a global livestream so the madmen he saved can say goodbye in real time. Then there's the music vault. Longtime producer Andrew Watt let it slip that Ozzy left a fistful of almost finished tracks from 2024 studio sessions. Enough, he claims, for at least one posthumous EP. If true, we may hear the Prince of Darkness one last time, crooning from beyond while the world still argues over his final moments. And the live legacy refuses to sit still. Rumors peg next summer's Ozfest reboot as a traveling memorial, anchored by Metallica, Slipknot, and a rotating Sabbath tribute. Whether it materializes or not, every metal bill you'll see for the next decade will be stamped, explicitly or not, with Ozzy's silhouette. For a man who pitched himself as darkness incarnate, Ozzy's exit has fired more light into the sky than any farewell in recent rock history. Candles on bridges, Gaga's roaring cover, midnight toasts from Drake, and a million teens shredding their first riff on TikTok. The details of his passing remain a mystery, but the legacy is clear. He taught generations that weird is power, volume is therapy, and survival, no matter how messy, is the loudest victory of all. So here's the question only you can answer. Was Ozzy's Villa Park set a coded goodbye, or just the final swing of a showman who never knew quiet? Drop your theory or your first Ozzy memory in the comments. I'm reading every story. And if you're hungry for more chaos, our next video plows through his wildest onstage moments, the Bat, the Alamo, and the unscripted mayhem that turned a Birmingham dropout into a cultural earthquake. Hit subscribe, bang that bell, and stay loud because the crazy train never really stops, it only changes conductors.